everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Skeleton Crew. I'm your host here, Jen Callahan. And tonight I have a great guest with me. His name is Dr. Kyle Henson. He is the Vice President of Imaging and Business Intelligence at the Solis Mammography. Thank you so much for being with me tonight.
Oh, thanks for having me, Jen.
So Dr. Henson's going to talk about a bunch of different stuff in terms of mammography. Conversation is meant for women out there, or even men who are going to be coming in to have a mammo. And then also too, for people who are already working in the field of radiology that might be looking to branch out and kind of find another certification and get accreditation into mammography. So we have a bunch of different branches of conversation that we're going to be doing tonight. So first, Dr. Henson, if you could just start us off with maybe like the basis of Solis Mammography, where you're located, and then where we might be able to find you throughout the country.
So Solis Mammography, we currently have around 106 mammo centers across the country. We're in a lot of different markets. We're in Dallas, Houston, Colorado, Tennessee, Arizona, all over the DC region, Philadelphia, Salt Lake City, North Carolina. So we're all over the country. And our real focus is delivering top quality care to women. All we do is mammograms, except for a couple full service centers up in DC, but that's our focus and passion is women's health. And we know it's not always a comfortable or something that people look forward to. So we want to change that experience and make it the best possible experience. We try to have a retail location so it's easy access. We have nice soft colors, a warm waiting room. We don't like that antiseptic hospital-y feel. We want it to be a pleasant environment. Our average time from door to door in registration all the way out the door is 24 minutes. So we're trying to make the best use of our patients' time. But I think our real passion is innovating technology and using technology to really move women's health forward. So we pioneered some early technologies with the smart curve paddles. We really embraced and leaned in heavily to AI early. And we're seeing just some really cool results with AI and some products that we'll be rolling out here very shortly.
So obviously, scheduling wise, I feel like your people who are working in scheduling are smart and they're not overbooking the rooms of where the mammos are being done, because obviously a lot of women in the world, and breast imaging is so important because of cancer, that lots of people are coming out to get mammos. And like many fields that have happened after COVID, understaffed or short-staffed, everyone's trying to get in to have these done. But obviously you guys must either one, be staffed appropriately, or the people who are doing the scheduling are just doing a phenomenal job that the overbooking isn't occurring.
Right. We don't overbook because that would ruin the patient experience. You've got your appointment, that's your appointment. And we want to get you in and out, in the best experience possible, because that's all we do. I mean, we just focus on one modality, one type of exam, and we're here to support you. And then we have the screening centers that are screening only, so they don't even do diagnostic at a lot of our centers. We know what those exams look like. Now, the diagnostic exam is going to take a lot longer. I mean, not a lot longer, but longer because there's more views. And then there's that interaction or discussion with the radiologist. So we will book a longer time for those. Again, we don't want anyone sitting around waiting.
So you have centers that are doing just the screenings. And then if they need an additional imaging or have to come back for something, they're going to a different center. Right.
There's screening only centers, usually very much retail location. Our diagnostic centers might be more in a medical office building. It just depends. It's the mixed bag all over the country.
So you're talking about smart curve. Is that in terms of the machines that are being used for the breast imaging?
So that was a product that came out a while back, and it was at that time the paddles were all flat, and so we helped create with one of our partners a curved paddle. So there's less compression and less discomfort during the exam. Now that's been replicated and copied by all manufacturers by now, but it was one of those things we were leaning in early to.
Yeah. And you guys have been around for quite some time now. I mean, like, you're not new on the scene. You've been around for what, over 30 years?
Yes, over 30 years. So we were started by a female radiologist. We have an all-female call center. So a lot of what we do, not only in-center, but that call center is really key to our operations, because we don't just wait for a patient to call us up. And, it's not on the patient. If one of our patients hasn't scheduled their exam, we're going to contact them. We're going to remind them, we know they're busy, so we're going to make it very easy for them to get scheduled. You can self-schedule online. You can call the contact center. There's a lot of different ways to get on the schedule because it's just so important for that early detection. We don't want our patients to skip a year and increase their risk or an adverse reaction if there is an interval cancer.
So touching on a smart curve, but then you also too had mentioned about having AI incorporated in with the imaging and with the radiologist. Can you give us more of a basis of that? Because I feel like AI is just exploding all over the field of radiology. And every time that I feel like I hear AI, you always think it's all going to be along the same lines. But every time that I speak to someone about the AI that they're using, it's absolutely completely different. So what you guys are using.
Sure, sure. We went all in on AI very early. So we're on like year 3 of AI at all of our centers. When the mammogram is acquired, it includes a couple different scores. There's what's called a case score, which is like overall, what is the chances of this, on a scale of 1 to 100, that this patient, has cancer. And then each of the lesions that are found in the tissue, the lesion itself is outlined. And then there's a score of, well, how suspicious is this mass or this lesion or this group of microcalcifications? And then those are actually present on the tomo slices. So as the doctor's scrolling through the images, they can actually see the lesion outlined and see that number. And please understand, our ads are the ones making the final call, 100%. It's meant to give them more information about it. So if they've got a very high case score, might want to look a little bit longer. If it's a super, like almost a 0 or under 10, they can feel more confident in quickly looking at that mammogram and going on to the next one. One of the doctors told me, I don't even look at it till the very end. And if I was on the border, then I use that score or the machine to help me go one way or the other, whether I want to call the patient back. So it's an aid to, it's not in any way replacement of.
Say the patient is called back, but there's actually nothing there. Wouldn't you rather, as that patient, have that peace of mind, like, oh, they thought it was, and they've done the proper additional testing or screening, and it's not what they thought? Me as a patient, I'd rather, scary in the moment to hear like, oh, I have to go back for something. But I would think in the long run, from the patient's side, you'd rather have that double check almost, it's like getting a second opinion almost, right?
Right. For my mother, my wife, my family, I would want every bit of technology, available to them, to the doctor, so the doctor can make the most informed decision.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other exciting things we rolled out this year is a 1-year risk score. So we've all heard about Tyrer-Cuzick and some of the other historical models. We have one of the first models that looks at the breast tissue. So whereas the first tool was saying, does the patient have cancer today? Yes, no. Well, the next tool, this predictive risk, is now looking into your future. Based on your images, we're detecting what is your chance of getting breast cancer in the next 12 months. So not a nebulous sometime in the future, but in 12 months. And once we had that, we've been able to go back and look at biopsy-proven malignant cases. And you can even see like 5 years before they're diagnosed, that risk score increases every single year. So we're really seeing exciting things. And while it's kind of a scary thing to tell a patient, I'd want my wife to know, then are able to give some lifestyle habits that can actually decrease that risk. Or maybe that patient wants to start coming in every 6 months. The idea is, we are passionate that our patients should have more information about their bodies, more information about their health, and really be in control of their health. It's a really cool place to be. It's something we're very passionate about, and you'll be hearing a lot from us on these areas.
Do patients have to opt in to have this type of predictive telling done, or is it something that's done automatically?
The predictive risk is an opt-in scenario, but the doctor's tools, that is on every case. So that's just stock to provide better detection.
Now, is that what is called the Mammo Plus? I always have to do my homework before I have guests come on, and I was on Solis's website and was looking at the one tab said like Mammo Plus. Is that what the predictive?
Yes, it is. That's our predictive risk. So I got one more for you. I'm going to share my screen so you can see it. We have one more thing coming out, and it's actually going to be rolled out next week, and it's called breast arterial calcification. So if you think about it, breast coronary calcification or plaque in the arteries around the heart is bad and a sign of heart disease. Well, it shouldn't surprise you that it doesn't just collect in the coronary arteries. Those calcifications occur in every artery in the body. And it's long been known, radiologists can see that calcification on a mammogram. It's just no one's really done anything about it. And I think only 5% of radiologists actually dictate on that. Well, we have an AI tool that we're rolling out that will actually detect, and if you see on my screen, it's outlining that calcification. What we're saying is that this patient has some calcification of their breast arteries, and maybe they need to talk to their doctor. And what's so amazing about this technology is we're now screening for the number 1 and number 2 killer of women. The heart disease is the silent killer because it doesn't present with symptoms until you have an adverse event or a heart attack. So to be able to offer this to our patients is just something I can't tell you how exciting it is to be a part of a company that's developing this, but rolling it out to all of our patients. And I mean, we really feel we're going to change women's health in America for the better. And it's such a rewarding place to be. I'm so thrilled to be a part of it, even though it's really, really, really neat to be a part of that kind of organization, to making those leaps and bounds for our patients. And it's such an amazing company to work for because we're so connected to our patients. It's not like a hospital where you're diagnosing a broken arm or you see them kind of this in an episodic way. We're saving lives. So far this year, we found 3,500 cancers. Think of the families that are impacted to that. It's insane. And then, of course, with early detection, the treatability is through the roof. If you're catching, a very, very, very small cancer, early stage 1, so they're going to go in, get a lumpectomy and be out and live a normal life. I mean, it's so powerful to really just be in that world. That's so much more rewarding than it was. I'm actually new to mammo. I've only been in mammography about 2 years. I've always been a PACS vendor. I managed PACS for large organizations, but being connected to the patient here.
This episode is brought to you by xraytechnicianschools.com. If you're considering a career in X-ray, visit xraytechnicianschools.com to explore schools and to get honest information on career paths, salaries, and degree options.
So let's kind of switch roles here we were talking in the beginning about someone who's a technologist in the field who might be looking to branch out into mammography, and Solis has this pretty nice concept going on that you can come and do your training there and get paid, right?
That's right. We have a program that you can apply for, and it is a mammo technologist certification and training program where you're able to actually come work at our center, get paid, and we will take you all the way through the process. We have a 98% success rate. So 98% of our trainees get their certification first time. And then we're happy to welcome them into the Solis family. So we're excited about it. There's a video on our website with my friend, soon to be Dr. Michelle. She's our director of training and learning. We would love to check it out on our website. I would love to see you apply and love to have you come join us at Solis.
So is this a newer program that you guys have put into play?
I think we put it into play a year. I think it was announced last Christmas. In addition to the classes, there's a kind of a mentor guide that be assigned to you to kind of help you through the journey and basically get you into the mammo specialty.
So question for you, Kyle. Did you help develop some of the AI technology that you guys use at Solis?
I have done a lot of de-identification. So as my team will take and we will de-identify a lot of data to then work with one of our partners to help train the models. But no, I'm not a data scientist. I didn't code it. We did train the model with our data.
I'm sure it's crazy to see where the company was when it was developed, 30 years ago. I guess like 1990 almost at this point. 3 AIs in 30 years. So there you go. You got one per decade almost.
We're partnering with many other companies to help them along, help build the models. We've got a lot of centers, a lot of imaging data, and we want to use that to make the industry better and to make the AI models better and improve patient care. I mean, it's what we're all about. That's why we're here.
Have you received feedback from different patients that have used the Mammo Plus or the lesion detection?
We get a lot of fan mail from patients that talking about their experience, particularly ones that may have not gotten the news they wanted, but then we help them through that process and we want to see them back. And we get a lot of fan mail of just how much they value the experience, how different it was for them to feel cared for. I mean, 80% of our patients come back every year or within 12 to 18 months. The national average is 50%. We're at 80%. We care about our patients and we want to do the best for them. And a lot of that is we make it easy for them to schedule. You don't just get your annual reminder letter in the mail. We might text you, we might call you, but we'll make it very easy and fast to get scheduled, but then get in and out because we know our patients are busy. I'm sure like yourself, you've got other things going. And so we want to make this a quick and easy experience and as comfortable as possible.
And I'm sure they're easily accessible locations is huge. Going to a hospital that has something like that done can sometimes be so cumbersome.
And they're big. And you might be walking 15 minutes just to try to find the department. And let's be honest, nobody wants to go to a hospital. That makes an even more uncomfortable or scary experience for your manual exam. We want it to be easy, convenient, where you are, in and out. And you just don't get that in the hospital setting. And I've worked in hospitals for 20 years. I love working in hospitals, but it's a different environment. We're more boutique or retail.
It's the whole feeling of it, warm colors, like you said. I'm sure that it's a very calm setting. Not that hospitals are chaotic, but sometimes it's not the most calming experience to go into a hospital.
One of the neat things that we're starting to see is even remote diagnostics. So in today's world, many times when you get a diagnostic or a callback exam, you will have a face-to-face interaction with that radiologist. And that's great because you get to talk and ask questions and really understand what all is going on. But that face-to-face interaction means that diagnostic centers can only do diagnostics when the radiologist is present. So what we found at some of our centers is we have a remote radiologist, and what they're doing is just like we're talking on the phone or talking in a video chat, they'll have a video chat. They'll hand the patient like an iPad, and then the patient can have that same conversation. Now, we're actually finding our patients prefer that type of interaction, and they'll tell you why. Just like I did a screen share with you and I could show you a picture of the tissue and you could actually see the picture and understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
In our remote diagnostics, we get to do the same thing. So the radiologist can actually bring their mammogram onto the screen and show them a lesion and talk them through their picture, their body. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and it really is. And in that traditional diagnostic setting, while you're face to face with a doctor, you still can't see or
Right.
visualize what does a lesion mean. I mean, that's kind of a weird term for a patient. We weren't sure how, but our patients have just been really raving about that as an enhancement to the diagnostic experience, not a detractor. And then that also means we can offer diagnostic slots at more centers at many more times, making it easier so you're not waiting 3-4 days, even a week. If you need to call back, we can get you called back very, very quickly because nobody wants to sit on that news for a week waiting for an appointment.
So we went over everything that has occurred basically in the past 3 decades with Solis, and so much has been done in the past 3 decades, and probably more so, probably almost the past 15 years, I'm sure is really more like it with those 3 developments of the AI. Where do you see, or can you even share where Solis might be going in the future?
We've really focused not on opening our own centers, but partnering with health systems across the country. And mammo departments are oftentimes kind of underfunded. They're sort of stuck in the corner. It's a weird little thing that often loses money for a health system. But we found a way that it works. We can make it profitable. That's all we do. So we've gotten pretty good at it. And so a lot of health systems will partner with us, and we will take over operating the mammo department as part of a joint venture. So you'll see us working with instead of trying to compete against the local health systems. You'll see us coming in South Florida, but really all over the country. We're expanding really rapidly. There's a big funnel of new business coming in, and we're excited to go do the same thing in other markets where we can increase the mammo compliance or the rate of women getting their annual mammogram, which means earlier detection, which means better outcomes, and it's a win for everybody, but mostly the patient. So you will see us in a lot of new markets very soon.
I did have a final thought, or I guess really kind of a question about the Mammo Plus. And I know that you had said that this isn't something that's automatically included. This is something that the patient would have to request. And I'm assuming it's probably because it's insurance related, which unfortunately, I feel like that's always the downfall of the healthcare, that everything always comes down to insurance. Does insurance cover it? What's going to be my out of pocket for that? So am I correct in saying that insurance isn't quite covering something like this yet?
I mean, it's brand new. So no, it's not insurance covered. It's something we're working on to see how quickly we can get it, because this is the kind of thing that's going to save lives. And so we want to make it more accessible to everyone.
So everybody, I hope that you've enjoyed my conversation tonight with Kyle Henson, doctor that I will call him, but he doesn't want to be called that. Doing great things with Solis mammography throughout the country, and keep your eyes and ears peeled that if you're in the area that they currently are not in, keep your eyes and ears peeled, like I said, and hopefully go and receive care there, because it seems like it's an amazing company and an amazing group and lots of great things happening within Solis mammography. So thank you, Kyle, so much for taking the time with me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks for having me, and thanks for listening. I hope to see many of y'all as colleagues in the near future.
All right, everybody. This is Jen Callahan and Kyle. We'll talk to you guys later.
You've been watching The Skeleton Crew, brought to you by xraytechnicianschools.com. On the next episode, join us to explore the present and the future of the rad tech career in the field of radiology.